Hey, this is Mark.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Mike.
And I'm Dan, and we're White Light Riot, and you're watching RNRTV, where rock and roll is meant to go.
One thing I like about the atmosphere down here is it's more back home. When we play our shows or we're out on the road. There's always a good crowd, or there's sometimes a good crowd by the other bands we're playing with. And down here, a lot of people don't know us, and we don't have a built-in crowd waiting for us. So I think we have a lot to prove for ourselves as well, and also bringing in people off the streets by our music. So I like it as like a proving ground for us. If people are coming in and enjoying what we're doing, I think that means we're doing something right. It's more of an affirmation for us than it is anything. So.
I guess on the same topic of being down here, like I've noticed that it's super. It's not competitive at all. It seems like everybody's really encouraging and like it's all about sharing. Even if it's like, hey man, can I borrow your guitar amp or something like that, so I don't have to haul mine in. People are like, oh yeah, really encouraging, and everyone wants to know everything about everybody else. So it's really cool. Like, so it actually reminds us a lot of being back home and like, making new friends and stuff and being like, oh, we totally are on the same page. It's really cool.
Well, we're from Minneapolis, and Minneapolis is one of the most tight-knit music communities that we've encountered since touring and going anywhere. It's like he was saying, like it has a very similar vibe to Austin in terms of that all the bands really help each other out there and work together so they can put together big shows to get into the biggest clubs, and it's really cool because so many local bands right now in Minneapolis are selling out, like the big clubs that all the national acts come through. And so, it's really cool that now that we're touring nationally, that, we have a homecoming like that every time we go back. Well, we're just about to release our first full-length album. It's called Atomism. We recorded it last fall, and it just took a while to get out because we're on a brand new label and just getting distribution and everything in place, and everything just fell into place right now, and we're really excited about it. We set out to make a just straight up pop rock, kind of classically influenced album, and we think we accomplished that. For me, it was the greatest experience ever because we got to go into the woods for 2 months in southern Minnesota at this place called Pachyderm Studio, and this is where Nirvana did In Utero, and Live did Throwing Copper there. They had a sauna and a pool, and that always made the end of the day awesome. Well, another thing I want to talk about is that, because it's so collaborative, that's kind of where we came up with the album title, Atomism. Atomism, from like a social context, means like that a group of people, like a community, are more defined by the individual characteristics of everyone than the group itself. It's like kind of the opposite of a Gestalt theory thing. And because we're all so uniquely individual and we all have so many ideas for songs and they all come together to make one thing, it just made sense for the album title, I guess, this time around. And, for some of these songs, we actually did hire a few musicians to come in. We have a friend, Jessie Green. She actually is on tour with the Foo Fighters right now, playing violin. And she worked at a restaurant by us forever, and then now she's on tour with the Foo Fighters. And she played on our album. She is a killer violinist slash cellist, and so we layered a few tracks of her playing violin on some songs, and we also brought in one of the best saxophone players like in pretty much anywhere I've ever seen. This guy, his name Michael Lewis, and he played on a track. And then we actually had our old band teacher come in and play trumpet on a track. Just a little ending thing that was just kind of a cool addition to a song. Well, we all formed, 3.5 years ago, and it all came together really, really naturally. Well, Mark's my brother, so. No, I mean we'd been playing music in our house together forever, and we both, created separate projects. Dan and Mark were in a band in high school. I was in a band in college. Both of us quit those bands after you guys played one show at a church. It was awesome, And then my band didn't even play a show. We had our first gig lined up, and I quit because I just told them they sucked, and that was kind of the end of that one. And you know, since Mark and Dan were already playing together, and it was just natural for us three to start kind of jamming, just messing around with stuff. And this before I had ever met Joe, and I actually left to go to England to study abroad for a while. And when I was there, Mark just writes me a message saying, "Dude, I got the band. We got it figured out. Just come back here and you know what I'm talking about." And one practice, we wrote like 10 songs in just one practice, and we were like, all right, this is it from here on out.
I mean, one thing people say to us is you guys look just like an absolute united front on stage, because we all have great chemistry with each other. We're all very good friends outside of the band as well. I mean, we all hang out together almost every day if we're not even practicing or playing. So it's just, it's a very cohesive group, and I think it comes across very well in a lot of our live shows.
Well, we're about to release a video for our song Out of Sight. It's kind of a joke video that we did. There's a show on Adult Swim called Tim and Eric Awesome Show, and we definitely took from that. It's a workout video. We choreographed the whole thing, and I guess dressed up pretty ridiculous. Yeah. But it should be good. People will like it, I think. At least I hope.
You know, we've all grown up with music of the 60s and 70s. Our parents are all music lovers, if not musicians themselves. And, they played, the Beatles and Zeppelin and the Stones, and the Kinks, and, all through our house all the time. And that music is like my first experience with rock music, all of our, first experiences with rock music. And the songs that were coming out then were so consistently good. Like, so many bands just fighting back and forth. Who's number one this week? Who's number one this week? And it seemed like it was so competitive with great songwriting. And our music is, obviously heavily influenced by that time period because that's what kind of got us into rock music to begin with.
I think we all have similar taste in music, but we all favor different genres, and I think that's what separates us, but at the same time is what makes us writing music very interesting. Because we all come from, we're all pulling in different influences, but it's all on top of the basis of the 60s and 70s. So I think that's the best way to put it.